Hi everyone! You know, the New Zealand education system is currently going through a massive curriculum rewrite. Nothing seems to be immune as the people in the know, and who should probably know better, look to force upon us a system that feels very much like Back to the Future. Along with designers of this new, old system comes an army of armchair critics who like to batter the comment sections of any media release with lines like, "Well, it worked wonders for me, everyone just needs to tighten up," and "taught me to harden up, 'cause that's what life is all about, you know." Which got me thinking, probably none of it very revolutionary, but here it goes. Everyone has sat in a classroom, that's true, so everyone thinks they're an expert. You know, I've always thought education is one of the few professions where everyone automatically gets honorary membership. You don't really see it happening anywhere else, do you? Nobody wanders into surgery and says, "Hey, you know what? I had my appendix out in 1987 and I reckon I've got a few ideas about how you should be running this operation." Nobody jumps onto a plane and says, "Yeah, I flew to Auckland once in row 23, seat B. Let me tell you pilots where aviation's gone wrong." But in education? Yeah, different story entirely, isn't it? Because everybody has sat in a classroom. Everybody remembers that one teacher who threw chalk. Everyone remembers long division, school camps, lunchtime scraps, and someone called Wayne who used to eat glue. So everyone naturally feels that they understand schools, and in many ways they do, because everyone has experienced this thing called education. But experiencing something and understanding how it works now are two very different things. I remember walking through a school with a visitor once, lovely person, good intentions. They looked around and said, "Gee, schools haven't changed much since I was here." At first glance, I suppose it looked that way. There were kids. There were teachers. Yep, tick. There were desks. There were walls. Fair enough. But that's a little bit like walking into a modern hospital and saying, "Yeah, looks pretty much the same as 1978 to me. Sick people still come in, don't they?" Underneath, everything's changed. The knowledge around learning has shifted. Our understanding of anxiety has shifted. Neuroscience has shifted. Technology has shifted. Society has shifted. Kids have shifted. Even childhood itself has shifted. Research from people like John Hattie has shown repeatedly that learning isn't simply about delivering content anymore. Relationships, feedback, clarity, well-being, belonging, and engagement all have huge influence on learning outcomes. And neuroscience increasingly tells us something teachers have known forever. A stressed brain doesn't learn particularly well. Now here's where this gets interesting, because I don't think people are wrong for remembering school fondly. Not at all. You know, memories certainly do matter. Some of my own memories even involve overhead projectors that seemed capable of cooking a sausage roll, and teachers wheeling televisions into classrooms on giant trolleys, like some sacred educational event was just about to arrive. You knew something magical was happening if that TV came in. "No work today. Woohoo! Outstanding." But memories are funny things, aren't they? They're snapshots. They're not blueprints. The danger comes when we start trying to build tomorrow's schools entirely from yesterday's memories. Because today's students aren't preparing for yesterday. They're preparing for tomorrow. And tomorrow, well, it's arriving at alarming speed, isn't it? Artificial intelligence, rapid change, jobs that don't exist yet, skills that continue evolving. What young people increasingly need now isn't simply more information. They need curiosity, adaptability, connection, critical thinking, confidence, the ability to work with humans who think differently from them. It's a biggie. And perhaps this is where educational leaders have a really, really important job. Not defending the future, but translating it. Helping communities understand that education isn't about abandoning the good old days. It's building on them. Because schools shouldn't become museums. They should become launch pads. I really like that idea. And perhaps the question isn't, why don't schools just go back to doing things like they used to back in the 1970s and 1980s? Maybe the better question is, what sort of future are we helping children walk into? That's a much more interesting conversation. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, then you'll undoubtedly enjoy reading my latest book, 54 Quotes and Provocations. It's stacked full of great leadership quotes and ideas to help free up your thinking time so that you can enjoy your job a lot more. Go and get your copy now.